rye from Whiskey Acres.
719.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's very, very good. It would be super cool if Rob let us pick that 10-year rye.
He will not.
A podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters.
Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Goldie Go Jake.
Tonight we're talking about how Four Roses is officially selling to E&J Gallo Winery.
You sound like a bourbon person.
Yeah.
He sounds clueless.
E&J
basically.
Gallo Winery?
I mean,
He's
yeah.
Gallo.
I've never heard of them before.
A massive player in the industry. I mean, and there's my cat knocking things off the table. Gallo is a massive player in the industry. There's maybe 3 or 4, 5 maybe big time owners that have majority stake in a lot of the brands that we talk about and see every day in the liquor industry. But the interesting thing about Gallo is they're mostly wine, and they're mostly like bottom shelf cheap wine. So this is kind of a big move for them to dip into the major player in the bourbon industry of Four Roses. And also I would consider them more on the higher end side of bourbon versus what they typically do. Like they have a lot of boxed wine. They have a lot of, 1.5 liter big bottle wine is their main focus.
they're barefoot as well.
Yeah, Barefoot, Black Box, Dark Horse.
The better wines that I see on
Apothic.
here. I was gonna say Apothic and Alamos are a little bit more higher, but most of
But
the stuff
even Apothic is like kind of, bottom shelf when it comes to like 750 milliliter non-boxed wine.
Yeah, so lots of wine. They have been expanding. They do have some spirits brands. In terms of the whiskey side, they have the Dalmore. They have Horse Soldier, which is something you see quite often. That's really it for the big whiskey side. Where they're going to make a lot of their money in this category is they are the people that own High Noon
okay.
and Rumchata. Other things that you might know if you're a vodka fan. Oh gosh, I just saw
New
2
Amsterdam.
things on New Amsterdam. If you're a Barstool fan, everyone's favorite Pink Whitney's on here as one of is in their portfolio. And then if you're tequila, Don Fulano.
Don
Tequila.
Fulano is a great tequila. Very high end, additive free. But also E&J Brandy is worth
E&J
to mention.
Brandy, yeah.
That's a big time brandy brand. So they have a ton of volume movers, and they don't have a ton of higher end
profit, like high profit margin brands,
like cool products to talk about. Like Four Roses.
Hold on, we're all Illinois. If you're Wisconsin, we can spend 3 hours talking about E&J Brandy.
Yeah, but is that cool, or is it just like the only option
cool.
and it's a cheap? Yeah.
I mean, it's cool if you want a Wisconsin old fashioned at a supper club. I mean, that's what you're getting.
But no one wants that. So
no one wants that. People do want, however, if you're getting brandy to drink, a good old Brandy Alexander. Nothing better than ice cream and brandy just mixed together.
No, that's only Wisconsin. I'm sure we have some Wisconsin listeners on here.
Yeah.
You don't like a brandy
that appreciate
you don't
that?
Like,
no.
Have you ever had a really good Brandy Alexander at a supper club? I'm not talking like the pink Pepto-Bismol, the pink squirrel or whatever that is. I'm talking a straight vanilla ice cream, chocolate drizzle, or brandy mixed in with the ice cream. Oof.
I mean, maybe if I was super, super stuffed and just want something sweet for dessert, but no, I can't say I've ever had one of those.
I mean, if you like drinking and you like ice cream, you're missing out.
I do like both those things.
You're missing out. Like the next time you're up north, go get yourself to a supper club or a nice old timey bar, and if you see a blender out, you know that they're going to have ice cream as well.
Yeah, I'm
Get
not a
yourself
supper club
Brandy Alexander.
fan.
You don't like
to
prime
old
rib?
timey. No, I don't eat meat.
What about my favorite appetizer?
I just think of like old smelly carpets and big portions of mediocre food. I'd rather have a
They
smaller
usually have
portion
like good
of
fish fries though.
better food.
Okay, so they have one. They have
Fried,
great prime
mm.
rib. Oh no, the best thing is like a garbage bucket up in Wisconsin. That's just like everything that goes in the fryer on one plate. That's my favorite. God, there's so many good things about
That
Wisconsin.
sounds
That's
about right, Dan.
The thing I miss most about Illinois is Wisconsin.
That sounds about right.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. Anyway, so that's their spirits brands. They do have a beer portfolio, and it's Montucky Cold Snacks.
Oh, I didn't
Is
know that.
That's their beer. So they do have a lot of, like we said, high volume movers on the wine side and the spirits side now, ready to drink side, as well as the beer moves decent, but not a lot of high profit. And Jake, you had said that Four Roses more of a premium name for them. I would say in terms of quality, yes, but even most of Four Roses pricing isn't very premium.
Yeah,
pricing.
I was gonna say maybe to touch on that a little bit more. They do have the regular Four Roses bourbon, which I'm sure is their biggest mover. And I mean, it's a great product and it's very reasonably priced. I think the handles are like $45 and the 750s are $24. So I would consider that maybe premium for that price point, but definitely not, like their single barrels, barrel proof, the small batch select. Like when I think of Four Roses, I think more about their single barrels and their small batch select and the different recipes that they offer on the higher end scale, even though I know the regular bourbon is their biggest mover.
But even those price points on those aren't like it's more, but it's not like what some people are charging these days.
Yeah, I mean, like small batch select and the single barrels are in like the sub $70 range, right?
Well, small batch select is 60. The regular single barrel that's 104 proof on the shelf is about 50. And then the regular small batch is 35. But if you want a barrel proof single barrel, which they basically only offer these as store picks, those are retailing at 100.
Oh, okay.
So, and I think when big time bourbon drinkers, like people that are probably listening to this podcast, think of Four Roses, they usually think of them as the small batch select and the barrel proof single barrels. Like those are phenomenal drinkers. If you don't like small batch select, I think is a just absolutely amazing go-to in that $60 price range when you want something just above 100 proof that still has a ton of flavor and complexity and easily findable.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of I guess I don't know much on their wine side. So that, and Jake, maybe you can fill me in. I'm just not classy enough to know enough about wine except for I drink it. Dalmore and Four Roses are probably only their big brands for international, right? In terms of international sales?
I can't speak too much to how their wine does internationally because, California wine really shines in the U.S. Certainly there's a market for it in other countries, but a lot of countries in Europe and other parts of the world, they like to drink wine from their own country.
Mm-hmm.
So wine is a big, most of your volume comes within your own country. But I mean, we're talking like massive volume brands for Gallo. and that's probably why they have the money to buy Four Roses.
Well,
That's
High
what I
Noon,
was,
High Noon and Barefoot's probably.
High Noon's on fire. Like, we can't ever keep High Noon in stock. It's insane how much of that we go through, and it's almost double the price of like White Claw and Truly. But yeah, and then their wine brands are just huge volume movers.
I mean, the thing I was most surprised about is, I think Kieran put that up or floated the like $1 billion price tag, a couple months ago. I for sure thought I was going to go to another holdings company. Like I'm actually pretty surprised that that a spirits company actually.
Well, I think that was mainly due to the fact that there's all this talk about the industry being down and bourbon being down, and companies that aren't in the industry just are, they're going to hesitate and they're going to, back off when news is going like that. And I think if you're a big company that's making a lot of money right now and has money in the industry, especially, like, this seems like it's a perfect fit for Gallo, as long as they don't step in and screw things up at Four Roses, because they don't have a premium American whiskey brand like that, and a lot of their business is within the U.S.
Yeah, that's true.
And to be fair, we'll talk a little bit more about the terms of the deal in a little bit. It technically hasn't gone through. It's set for sometime in Q2, but it's all a signed agreement. So
yeah,
they don't have a big American whiskey. I mean, they don't. I mean, Horse Soldier's their biggest. Besides the High Noon.
Horse Soldier's good, and I would consider them like a premium brand, but they're definitely not a volume mover compared to the other brands that they have.
They're in like Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that Pink Whitney's beautiful.
But does Horse Soldier distill?
They do, but they were MGP, and I want to say they were like I could be off here, but I think they were maybe a little bit of Middle West, but I know they were definitely primarily MGP, and they were getting their own stills going. I don't think anything released yet is off their own still.
Okay. I think if Gallo's or somebody like Gallo is looking to get into, the larger spirits market, I think a brand like Four Roses is probably the safest bet you can make at this point.
Well, so timing is perfect, right? The bourbon industry is down a little bit. Let's talk about the price. How do we feel about $7 and change million?
$775.
Yeah, $775 million.
I mean, it's almost 25% off the asking price.
Well, we were talking about like $750, I think, a few weeks ago when we talked about the potential sale.
Yeah, I think you said that, and I'm like, man, that's 25% off. That's a huge cut, and that's basically where it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good price for Four Roses.
I mean, I think that was a steal. I think that was a great grab. I think the industry's down a little bit right now. I think it's going to recover in the future, especially being a big name brand like this. They have 2 big locations in Kentucky that they have barely tapped into potential. I mean, there's no restaurant at either site. One of the sites doesn't really even have they just built like a new gift shop at the not the Cox's Creek.
No, it's the one over by Lexington.
Yeah, which that one is gorgeous. It's like a Spanish tile kind of vibe at that distillery.
Yeah, that's the one we went to.
Yeah, and they just redid the whole gift shop. They just put in a bar there, but no restaurant. And the other location doesn't really have any of that. So I think there's so much untapped potential for how big this brand is in terms of visiting. And we've talked a lot about how Kentucky distilleries are going to thrive off of the tourism that's booming right now and going to continue to boom. And then we can only imagine what's going to happen if the bourbon industry gets back to where it was 2 years ago, which I do think is going to happen. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, it's only going to be 20 years. It'll be right back there in 20 years.
I mean, if it takes 20 years, it takes 20 years. Thrive off of the tourism now. Put in like a super high-end Napa style restaurant at your
You'll get
distillery.
your ROI. In
They
20
should do
years on
like
a
more of like a
restaurant.
Spanish style tapas place
Mhm.
there. It would fit the decor. But I will say, of all, we went to, I think I went to 8 distilleries when we were down there. I hated that one the most. To
Which
be
one did you
fair,
go to?
I don't know why.
Why
It
did
was
you
a
hate
cool
it, though?
distillery.
I was really drunk and the tour guide
Okay,
sucked.
exactly.
And he didn't keep the excitement going. And then I was just drunk and tired.
It was
So
also like
it wasn't
the 5th
the-
tour of the day.
It wasn't
so-
the distillery. It was the tour guide, and you were drunk.
And they were shut down for the month. So they didn't even get to see anything going on. That's why, Jake.
All right, so if you haven't been there, it is like a gorgeous Spanish type of looking distillery. You kind of get transported into another country for a quick moment, but it is a little inconvenient that they have 2 different locations because you don't get to see barrel warehouses at that one, and at the other one you don't get to see any distilling equipment. But I think they should just use that to their advantage and make 2 visitor centers and expand off of that with all the
Yeah.
tourism.
Or
that's
go the
going on.
Heaven Hill, or to go the Heaven Hill route. Just have an experience somewhere downtown Lexington.
I don't know,
but
I think
the Heaven
people-
Hill has a whole thing at like
They all have
locations,
on
right?
Louisville Whiskey Row, but yeah, they still have a bar now at the Heaven Hill location. And I think people, they want to go to the distillery. They don't really, they're not going down to Kentucky or traveling
Yeah,
to
fair.
Kentucky to go to a little pop-up
Fair,
bar
fair.
location.
Yeah. I will say Four Roses had the best merch out of all the places that we went
No,
do
to.
have good merch.
they had good merch. I think Buffalo Trace still had better merch, but the stuff at Four Roses is pretty sweet too. All the
All
other
right,
ones
so
weren't that great.
Back to the
Anyways,
price
back,
for a
back
second.
to price. So 775 million. The one thing that Four Roses does have is an international presence,
Yeah.
which is why I still think this is a steal, especially for a brand
If
that doesn't
Dan
have
says
much
it's a
of
steal, it's a steal.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. I need my Jim Cramer button so I can start doing everything wrong and then bet on the opposite and make more money.
Yeah.
So 775. In comparison, this is going to be a new record for Kentucky Distillery sales price. This is going to beat out the previous leader, which was in 2009. Campari paid $581 million for Wild Turkey, but that was a long time ago. That 2009, 581 for Wild Turkey. And then in
What did Suntory pay for Beam and Makers?
it's not on here, and it has the second highest as Campari buying a 70% stake in Wilderness Trail in 2022 for $420 million. So if you're
So maybe
looking
it's
at
private.
if you're looking at $420 million for a 70% stake in Campari, or $775 million for Four Roses, especially
Well,
considering Wilderness Trail didn't have a ton of stocks at the time, or didn't have a ton of barrels.
Okay, hold
Stock
up
at
for a
time?
second.
Go ahead.
Suntory Holdings acquired Beam in April 2014 for approximately $16 billion.
That's
That
just the
can't
Beam
be right.
Distillery, though. That's got to be all their
That's
other brands.
well, yeah, Beam Incorporated, which is also Maker's Mark, but so that's
okay,
probably
okay.
that's why it's not on the list. But it's worth mentioning that that was a $16 billion all cash transaction.
That kind of seems like a ripoff too. Compared, I mean, this makes 775 for Four Roses seem like
That-
even more of a steal.
That makes I
I
agree.
mean, 70% stake, $420 million for 70% stake in Wilderness Trail in 2022. They couldn't. I mean, compared to what Four Roses has, aging Wilderness Trail can't be anywhere close to that back in 2022.
Well, no, Wilderness Trail, I think, is that was a terrible decision.
I mean, that was an awesome decision to sell.
Yeah,
that was
Northern
like the
Australia, that was a
peak,
great decision.
the peak of
A
bourbon.
really bad decision by Campari.
And then Campari just like killed that brand. Like, what do you
Yeah.
like? Are you buying them just to not have
They-
the competition?
So they will
didn't even
have,
get the like yeast laboratory, right?
no, that's separate.
Yeah.
Campari will have 100% ownership in 2031 when they buy the remaining 30% for an additional 180 million, bringing it to 600 million total.
Yeah, something tells me that's not going to actually happen.
No, whiskey's gonna be back in 2 years. Jake said it.
I don't think I said 2
Well,
years,
I
but
mean,
I
like
said it
Jake
will.
said, like that brand like doesn't exist anymore. Like,
I mean,
no one cares.
it legit seems like they did it for other reasons. Like I heard rumors they bought them just to do all the wild turkey honey production at Wilderness Trail. Like they just wanted all the equipment.
The
But
facility.
even then, like
Yeah.
it seems like nothing new has come out from Wilderness Trail. You have to believe that they probably have some like 8 and 10-year-old inventory right now, and they're not doing anything with it. So like, what is going on there?
Yeah. Doesn't Campari have a bad track record of just like destroying brands though?
You're thinking of shit. Who bought Constellation?
Yeah, Constellation
Oh.
definitely is bad. But Campari, I mean, Campari has done okay. They haven't. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're pushing brands forward. They've done a good job with Wild Turkey. They've done a good job letting the Russells continue to run things and operate things, and have just kind of stepped in more on like the distribution side. But they've definitely not done good for Wilderness Trail so far, unless they have some crazy plans that they haven't revealed, something up their sleeve. They have not done well with Wilderness Trail.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out.
Dan's making faces.
No, I was reading something in this article that's made me start to do some research on a rabbit hole, and I think this is asking for my birth year, but I can't tell because it's in Japanese. If my computer randomly shuts down, you'll understand why. Okay, that makes. So what I was reading was in this article is that Kirin was looking to sell Four Roses to pivot from the struggling spirits sector to its healthcare business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that.
So they do have pharmaceuticals and health products and services in Japan. That's all in Japanese. I can't read that.
Kirin is just a holdings company, right? So
Yeah,
I'm sure they have all kinds of different shit.
Their main companies are Kirin Brewery Company and their healthcare. And then it's broken down to alcoholic beverages, non-alcoholic beverages, health products and services, and pharmaceuticals. So, but a couple of these, when I click on them, it won't translate to English. So, you know what? Fair pivot. Healthcare is never gonna healthcare is recession proof. Not a bad decision. I just think it's funny.
Both are.
I think it's funny that they have healthcare and booze.
Yeah.
They're
It's like
both recession proof.
It's like if it was
Yeah.
Philip Morris and United Healthcare.
But yeah, so I think if you're just thinking about how bourbon is, on the downturn, the alcohol industry in the U.S. is on the downturn right now. You're thinking it's a bad move, but I think if you compare it to the amount that Wilderness Trail was bought for 2 years ago or 4 years ago at this point, I think it's a steal. And I think Four Roses has so much untapped potential with its visitor centers, and it also has a lot of untapped potential with distribution because they really don't distribute a lot or any of their higher end barrel proof single barrels. They're only as store picks, and they've been pretty limited. So I think if I'm Gallo, I'm trying to expand on that and offer more opportunities there and just get some more recipes on the shelf at barrel strength, and expand that way. I mean, when I went down to Kentucky 4 years ago, you'd get lucky to find a Four Roses barrel strength single barrel for sale at the distillery. I think they only did about 15 a month, and now you can walk in there and find every recipe. So they have the inventory.
Yeah.
Now it's just time to get it into distribution and start scaling, especially if they're not selling as much bourbon. They probably have more bourbon to do that with.
I mean, are they the fourth or fifth largest producer?
They're not that high
I thought they were top 6.
in
Yeah,
terms
they
of
are.
They're one of the big 6.
in Kentucky, but not in the U.S. Like
Well,
you're
who
gonna
else would
No, yeah.
for
MGP
bourbon?
and MGP and
well,
Middle-West.
Yeah.
I thought they produced more than Makers. Maybe
I'm not
close
saying that's
to
wrong,
Wild
but
Turkey.
that would be hard to believe. I think they're undermakers more than Wild Turkey,
Oh, really? Okay.
or about even with Wild Turkey. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. Dan's got the research.
Four
of course.
Roses, approximately 100,000 barrels a year.
Well, I mean, that alone tells you that they probably have the inventory to do whatever they want.
Stupid. That says how many cases. I'm not going to do that math. Maker's Marks produces approximately 1 million cases. That's not how much they've distilled, though.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I would bet they're on the smaller side of the big ones in Kentucky. So big old names.
I mean, they're in the bottom half of the big 6, but I thought they were like number 4, number 5. I could be wrong though.
Yeah. You're probably wrong.
But I mean, even just being in the big 6, they have more whiskey than 90% of distilleries.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Yes, they do. That they do.
they definitely have enough to start doing larger scale releases of pretty much anything they want.
2015, they did a $55 million expansion, which just means even more. And that's, I mean, all that stuff's on shelves now. So, yeah, it talks in here too. Kentucky's $10.6 billion bourbon industry has been hit hard by slumping demand and at home and abroad in American whiskey. Major distilleries have halted or slowed production, while some financially troubled smaller distilleries have gone bankrupt and are in receivership. So, yeah, I was actually shocked it sold so quick. I didn't think it would sell quick. I mean, a few months for a $775 million sale.
I mean, it was like 2 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Surprising.
I'm shocked it sold so quick for that much under
Two.
asking.
Yeah,
Like if I was Kieran, I mean, obviously we don't know their financial and what they're thinking behind it and a ton of ins and outs. But if I'm Kieran, I'm thinking, all right, we don't need to sell this right now. Let's wait for our right offer. I think they asked like 1.2 billion originally. It was like a little over $1 billion.
I thought it was right at 1.
I thought it was 1 billion. When
Okay,
they
I
came
thought
out.
it was, for some reason it was right over, but still, if I'm them, I'm waiting because they have more whiskey coming out and making some moves to again get into that higher end sector a little bit more, making a bigger name for yourself, and then waiting for that right offer. But again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with them, what they're thinking, what is going on with the other companies that they own. And I'm sure most of their business is not in the U.S.
Yeah.
Considering their website is Japanese, I would agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting that, like, I think to your point, Jake, that, like, they've seemingly done, like, nothing innovative with Four Roses. Like, in the
Small
last,
Batch
like,
Select was it.
yeah, I mean, like, the last year or two, like, if they were gearing up to sell,
And
like,
the
usually you
kits.
try and do something, to, like, generate some more, like, attention or buzz. But, like, yeah, they haven't done, like, anything. So,
The kits were cool. The kits
yeah.
drew a ton of buzz. Small Batch Select drew a ton of buzz.
But the kits aren't even like a regular thing.
No, it was like a one-time thing.
Yeah.
But I think it proved that there's interest in your different recipes and in your bourbon
Yeah.
because people paid a premium for a 50 ml sample of your 10 different recipes.
Like I would have expected, like if there was a medium term plan to sell the brand, that they would push for like something like you said, like start releasing more single barrels on the shelf at barrel proof, do something, to like start distinguishing the brand a bit more. But yeah, I mean, there's been like none of that because like you said, small batch select was like the main thing that they did, but like that was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
No, that was maybe 4 years ago,
Oh, really? I thought it was
maybe
longer
5
than that.
years ago.
Why we're talking about the 10 different recipes in their little taster pack. If you are listening or watching or whatever, however you're consuming this media, if you think it'd be fun for us to do an episode where we taste through all 10 of them and just get hammered on a Saturday, let us know below and maybe we'll do that. I vote yes anyways. That's me. I'm a degenerate. So
What's the last recipe? Because that's the one that's going to have the worst.
or the best. No,
we
remember your whiskey that at the taste the blend your own thing that you didn't give everyone. That was the best because everyone was hammered by that time.
No, I'm doing 10 Glencairns and pouring all 10 recipes out if we do this.
Oh yeah, no.
And
I want to get smoked. Like
Yeah,
make
we're
this
not
like a
doing
2 hour
one
long
at a
episode.
time.
Like we'll do 10 and we'll just sample all 10 and give you our honest feedback. And then we'll keep doing the podcast for a second episode until all 10 samples are gone. And we are just lit. So comment below on whatever platform, ring bells things. Let us know. I will do it. I will sacrifice my health for the betterment of the listeners. That's the only reason.
The cool thing about the 10 recipe thing is that is also how you do a barrel pick at Four Roses, which I think is worth mentioning. It's the hardest barrel pick out there. They give you about a half ounce to 3/4 ounce of 10 different single barrels. They're all different recipes. And they tell you we can't pour you any more than what's in your glass right now. So you have to narrow it down to one off of those 10 glasses. So that would be kind of fun to taste all of them at equal proof, 104 proof, and strictly focus on the mash bill and the yeast to narrow it down to our favorite off of those 10 little samples.
You're turning me on a little bit.
Right.
Jake. A little riled up here the day before Valentine's Day. Hey, too bad this podcast comes out afterwards. I just got an email that there's a Valentine's Day sale at Gold Eagle, but this will happen after.
Better use it. 10%
off. Yeah, so I guess let's then ask the question. Do we see any other large distilleries going up for sale soon? And if so,
Big Six? No.
no, anything large, like sale price north of 300 some million, you have to take a rough guess of like some of the large craft distilleries we're well known of, or NDPs.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, let's see. Out of the big six, Heaven Hill's not going to go up for sale because they're family owned. They're a powerhouse. They own way too many brands. I mean, that would be like billions and billions, like Jim Beam. Jim Beam, I don't see Suntory selling Beam or Makers or getting rid of any of that. Who does that leave us with?
Buffalo's not selling.
Buffalo's not selling. They just did so much expansion. They're like untapped potential.
And it's what everyone wants right now. Like, they're not slumping on sales.
They're controlling the market.
Yeah. Beam, Four Rose, Woodford. No.
Probably not.
Brown Foreman.
No.
I mean, Brown Foreman would be the only one maybe that I could. They're not going to sell Brown Foreman, but they might sell a distillery or two. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only one I could see out of the big guys.
Yeah.
Someone that has a
I could
larger
see
portfolio kicking off one of their bigger money.
Bardstown.
Prisper's got too much money. He can afford to lose some and
Yeah.
wait.
And Wild Turkey's probably not.
Wild Turkey was sold not that long
Campari's
ago.
not.
So then we start looking at other large distilleries throughout
I
Kentucky.
think we'll see like more medium / small size distilleries going up for sale right now.
Yeah, I could see places like Willet, Castle and Key.
I don't know about Willet.
I mean,
They're kind of like a small Heaven Hill. Like they have a lot of different brands that are under their umbrella, and they just did a huge expansion and are about to open up their like a new massive distillery.
oh,
Are
could
they
be
though?
a selling point though.
I say, are they though?
I mean, I guess it could be, but they are like the small version of Heaven Hill. Like they're single family owned. It's been passed down. I don't think they necessarily need the money. I think they like what they're doing, and they're excelling right now. They're doing very well. They're kind of like, to me, they're a hybrid of Buffalo Trace and Heaven Hill on a much smaller scale. Like they have a bunch of little cool, interesting brands under the same distillate or two, and
Yeah,
they have good attention on them. They're just way too small right now to scale upward, but they're getting there.
but yeah, I think Castle and Key is probably one.
I could see that.
I
I could see that,
have like
especially because their whiskey is right so far. I mean, mediocre, and the grounds are gorgeous.
yeah, there's a huge potential at the distillery.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you get the bourbon where it should be quality wise, I think you have like a really good case for a really stellar brand. Like a lot of the other ones that I would have like guessed have already sold. Like Old Elk would be like a prime one, and that already sold to Middle West. What was the other one that I was just thinking about?
What about Barton?
Oh, like Luxco. Like, didn't Luxco just
Barton is
absorb
also
a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, Luxco is owned by the same people that own MGP,
Yeah, that's right.
so they're not going anywhere. Barton could be, because they're everything is so old school at Barton. Like they don't even have a visitor center. Like that's a place that could use a little uplift. But they also have a ton of bottom shelf brands that just pump volume for them.
Sounds more like it would have fit in with E&J.
Gallo, yeah.
Gallo.
I mean that would have been a perfect fit, and I'm sure they probably looked at that, and Barton, didn't want to. Well, it's also Barton's a Sazerac
Oh,
product,
that's
and
right.
Sazerac loves those bottom shelf brands. I mean, that moves a ton of volume for them and lets them pump more money into Buffalo Trace and their higher end brands.
Well, so that's the one thing I could see are some of those lower
So yeah, Barton's
lower
not moving.
end brands being spun off by like Sazerac or Heaven Hill or
Kind of like
some
what
of
they
the
did
other
with Early Times.
yeah.
What if Sazerac decided to? They already own Bowman, so I guess it'd just be a name change.
Mhm.
If Sazerac just said they're going to cancel out Bowman and just put it under Buffalo Trace, but that'd just be a name change. That would
No,
be
I
a
see.
sale.
And Bowman's doing. I mean, they're doing their own thing, and it's working. So
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll see. We'll probably be shocked by the next big name that comes up, because I don't think any of us would have thought Four Roses would have went up for sale.
no,
So
No, but it probably is the only one of the big six that was possible. Everybody else is either privately owned or owned by somebody else already. So
I mean, MGP could sell off parts of their company for money because they're going to be, we know they're going to be hurting bad with as much whiskey they have sitting.
I could see that. I mean, they've publicly come out and talked about how much their business is hurting,
You can see on their
Yeah.
stock
And-
price.
and they a ton of their business is just on their grains. Like distilling is
MGP
a small
ingredients.
part of their business.
So
Are they still officially called Ross and Squibb?
they're, yes,
Okay.
they're, yeah. The company that owns them is MGP Ingredients, and that's just everyone still
Ross and
calls them
Squibb is the like distilling like
Yeah.
division or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So makes no one gives a shit.
No, I just didn't know if they like abandoned that.
They should have just called it frickin' Remus
yeah.
because they already have Remus bourbon, and they like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
don't know. Yeah, it was dumb.
I didn't go to college for marketing, so I'm gonna bow out.
Well,
of this.
I mean, we've talked about how like they can't market anything that they make, so that tracks with naming it Ross and Squibb for no reason.
I'm sure there's a reason behind it, but no one gives a shit about it.
I mean, naming it Remus Distilling would have been a better move by far.
Can I take a second, just a quick commercial break, just to shit on Jake R for a second?
What?
Because I'm drinking a rye, and you say I never like rye, and I'm really enjoying rye this week.
Michter's 10 Rye barely counts.
So. I've been drinking Whiskey Acres Rye barrel proof too. So
All right.
I was gonna say, you say I never like ryes. I'm really enjoying my rye tonight.
How many
I'm
other bottles of
drinking-
rye do you have?
What?
How many other bottles of rye do you have?
Oh no, these are my only 2 bottles of rye. I have.
Yeah.
I really like them. Oh, Torbeg.
Oh, scotches
Vodka.
and brandies.
Bacta
Armagnacs.
and single malt
brandy.
Scotch.
Jesus, he just called.
Armagnac is a brandy.
It's
This type of brandy.
This Bacta is technically a
Armagnac.
rye whiskey,
Oh,
but
it's
it's a
Which one is
1928.
that?
1928.
Oh, 1928.
It's our wedding blend, but it's a blend of rye, Armagnac, and Calvados.
I just want
So
to say, you always say I don't like rye, and I've been drinking rye the last 2 weeks. So
I've been on
You,
a huge
you generally
single
do
malt
not
kick.
like rye.
there's ryes that I like, and I always say that. You always make me seem like I hate ryes. All right. Just
You
done
say
shit.
you do.
I say I
I'm
hate
not-
most ryes.
I don't put words in your mouth.
Jake, how's that scotch going? Hey, you never answered my text, and I'm pissed off at you.
Me?
So yeah, I asked you. You guys had a whiskey tasting event with the Glen Roths. How did you like my favorite
I
scotch
did
of
not
Glen Roths
see your
18?
text then. I'm sorry. The Glen Roths 18 was phenomenal. If you would have signed up for the tasting, everybody actually got a little vial of the Glen Roths 18 to take home. Oh, Jake's got one.
Yeah, it's unlabeled, so that's how I know that that's it.
Yeah, Jake was there. So, what did you think, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, Dan, you got to jog my memory. I don't remember what we actually tried from them.
I think it was the 18. I think they had one other because those are the McKellen table.
It might have been
and I
the
remember-
12 and the 18.
I think it was
'cause
the 12 and the 8. Yeah, because
15 is pretty new.
12 is orange, right? I know they
Yeah.
changed the packaging a little.
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, it was orange and purple, so it'd been 12 and 18.
Yes, I mean
I
the,
didn't-
the 12 is really nice and light. I'd say like the Glen Roth's 12 is probably the best intro to Scotch you could give somebody because it's like super unoffensive and like very light and fruity.
What's the price point on it?
70.
That's not horrible.
Yeah, it's not too bad. The 15 is pretty good.
And the 15 is under 100, 99.99.
Really good price for a 15 year. Also very light and fruity, like a little bit more oak character. And the 18 year is, much more oak and sherry, but still get some of that like light fruity notes. So yeah, that's still my favorite. We also tried a 25 year and a 32
6 year.
36 year. Which I actually like the 25 better.
I like the 25 better too. I like the 25 a lot.
But the 18 was still my favorite out of
Yeah,
the
I mean
age
for the
stated
price, the 25 years like a $700 bottle.
ones. Yeah. I mean, going from
18
$200 to $700 is steep.
Big
So
jump.
But actually, my favorite of the night was the Maker's Cut,
same,
which
yeah.
is like the highest proof, only 97, 98 proof. But that bottle was also same price as the 12-year, it was $70.
Yeah, really, really good value and like very flavorful.
Yeah,
Like intentionally so, which I thought was pretty cool.
One, I really like the new packaging. Way better. I think it looks way better, especially when it's higher priced. Secondly, that 18. Like, we tried at the tasting we were at, it's our old buddy Sam's place. We tried McKellen 18, and then right beside of it, we tried Glen Ross 18. And everyone at the table was all like, okay, well, the Glen Ross is 18 is way better, and it's half the price.
Yeah.
So a lot of industry people say the same thing, and even like people that work for those brands, and it's the same family of brands, so you represent both, will tell you like, yeah, at home I'm drinking Glen Ross all the time because it's half the price and just as good, if not better.
But yeah, I think the 18 was like the first time I had a Scotch, and I was like, okay, I can see myself getting into this. Now, if you're wanting to get into Scotch, I will say spending $200 on a bottle without tasting it beforehand is rough. I'm not smart, so don't do things that I do. But if you are like, I don't think I like Scotch, and you're used to Smoky Peaty, we always talk about it. This made me find that I do like Scotch, but it's pretty constricted to Speyside Sherry. And that Glen Ross 18 was one of my favorites. So I'm glad you finally got to try it, Jake, Gold Eagle Jake, and enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah.
So, did you buy a bottle? Okay. I won't ask questions again.
Jake doesn't have to buy bottles.
No, he
has
gets
a
to
whole
go
bar.
to
I thought you were asking the other
Oh.
Jake. I mean, I bought all the bottles that we had at the tasting.
I bet. Fair. I'm guessing Jake R bought that at Sam's and still hasn't opened it. You
No,
Glen Ross 18.
I only have one, and it's like half empty, so I bought
Okay.
another one because it was
Okay,
discounted
fair.
at the tasting,
Yeah, that's fair.
and
That's
it had
fair.
the new packaging, and it was in a
The
tube.
new packaging is sick.
Come on,
It's in a tube. Yeah.
No, the tube
It's in a
is like
spinny tube.
it's
Spinning.
Yeah.
it's a badass tube.
Hold on.
It's not
I'll
like
go get
a
it.
E.H. Taylor cardboard tube. Yeah, grab that tube for us. He's probably
I would-
he's
hey.
probably got to go to the basement to his third bar.
No, he's in the closet. It's in the hoarding closet.
yeah, it's in my closet.
Yeah, told you.
Ooh,
They changed the bottle up a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
a lot better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
With the price point. You know what? If Angels Envy is just going to do cardboard boxes, at least do a cool spinny cardboard too.
I know,
Mhm.
right?
Fuck you, Angels Envy. God damn.
Well, and like this one, like didn't he say this is like all like it's like totally like compostable packaging too?
Well, if it's cardboard, usually that's
Well,
a pretty good
not,
job of breaking down.
not all cardboard is.
fair. But anywho,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that, and I'm glad you understand my affection for the Glen Ross 18. If you're a McKellen fan, get off your high horse.
Macallan's not that great. Sorry,
Well,
there's way better Scotch.
They
can't-
they have really good Scotch. It's just way overpriced.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like double, triple overpriced.
They're like the Buffalo Trace of Scotch.
Buffalo
No,
Trace is
'cause
overpriced.
Buffalo Trace is not overpriced.
Yeah, they're like the blue.
Okay,
They're
yeah,
like the
fair.
blue run of
If
Scotch. but
Buffalo
good.
Trace, if Buffalo Trace decided to do the McAllen route and be like, oh, we're going to start charging $100 for Buffalo Trace, $800 for BTAC,
Yeah,
$1,500 for Pappy, then yes, they would be the McAllen.
yeah,
they don't.
That's fair.
We got mad that they upped their price of the BTAC and Pappy stuff to like 150 or 180 or whatever it's at now. And it's
200
like,
for
com-
BTAC,
com-
and
compared to what other stuff is doing right now, that's still a steal for some of the
yeah,
best
it's a
whiskey.
steal.
Some of the best bourbon in the world. Like
Mhm.
you can call me a tater, I'm fine with that. But the BTAC stuff, the Pappy stuff, it's phenomenal whiskey. Like there's not a ton.
I'm
that's
still
better.
on a Buffalo Trace kick. For the Super Bowl, I opened Stag from I think last year.
I still got a Stag from 2
It
years.
was
I
really
haven't
really
touched.
good.
George T or just Stag?
Regular.
Just Stag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Now I'm like rethinking all the times that I shit talked Buffalo Trace.
yeah.
So
You go opposite. Like I'm a tater. You're a hater. But at the same point, you're like, oh no, their shit's actually really good.
so for the record, I have always said that Buffalo Trace is really good. I just think a lot of the time it's overhyped.
It is overhyped, but it's still really good whiskey. Like,
But
there's no
yes,
reason
it
to
is
wait in
very
line
good.
or pay double to triple the cost of a bottle, just because it's Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
But at the same point, if that's the bottle you really want, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. So
I found a Taylor Barrel Proof cleaning out my office.
nice. Those are always good. I have a
Yeah,
Taylor
so
Barrel Proof
I'll
that I love.
probably pop that soon.
Awesome. So Jake, if people want to get BTAC, if they want to get Taylor Barrel Proofs, if they want to get this delicious Michter's 10-year rye, where can they do that at?
Yeah, you can get on our top customer list and certainly get yourself a bottle of that. You can visit us in Libertyville at 255 Peterson Road, goldeaglewine.com. See our whole inventory. Shop online for shipping, delivery, or pickup. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Gold Eagle Wine and Facebook at Gold Eagle Spirits to see what we get delivered and stay on top of all of our news, events, and updates.
And good luck getting on that list because you got to outspend me.
Yeah, don't there's no reason to do that. Like, if your sole goal is to get a BTAC, it's going to be way cheaper just to spend 5x the bottle on wooden cork than trying to outspend Jake. So just, if that's what you want, just do it that way. Sorry, Jake.
What's the like bare minimum to get like a special
That's-
reserve or something?
That's not a good question to ask.
I mean, you don't have special reserve on their year-end list, but you usually have like a good barrel pick from like Weller or something.
This year's Stag is on the list, and I think
Yeah,
next
yeah.
year will probably be a Weller pick again. So like you can get your choice of, depending on where you fall, between 2 and 5 other bottles, and then in addition to that, our big barrel pick bottle.
Yeah.
So I was just making a joke. Jake doesn't have that stuff in the back room. He sells it. He holds it for the year-end sale.
It doesn't do as good in the back room. We sell it.
Well, no, you sell it. You sell it, but you hold it until your year-end stuff, and you let your top customers get it.
Yeah, we put together about 500 to 600 bottles, and it all gets sold to our top 200, 225 customers. So,
Jake, if people, like we said, if you want us to get just completely hammered on Four Roses 10 recipes, let us know in the comments. Where can people do that at?
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, or Google Podcasts, or pretty much any other podcast platform. Watch us on Spotify and YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave comments, like Dan said. We've been getting a decent amount of comments every week, so we appreciate that. A lot of the same people commenting every week, so we'd love to see it.
I don't know. Jake sends me like one of them every time, and that's about it. So
I only send when there are questions relevant for you to answer. Otherwise, yeah, we don't want you anywhere near the comment section.
yeah, that's a good idea. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we will see when another big distillery goes up for sale. Hope everyone when. Not a question. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
cheers.